When I think about things that have inspired me in life, things that have kind of shaped my view of the world, I'm always a bit embarrassed to include computer games in that category. It's odd, we know that they're forms of art and media, there's loads of design that goes into making computer games, but there's still a certain stigma I feel about taking them slightly too seriously.
Dad, I must get out of these wet clothes and into a dry martini.
I grew up in a household where my parents were very sceptical of computer games, and they kind of saw them as quick fixes for entertainment, a way to kind of shut you up for a few hours. I'd play a lot of point and click adventure games when I was little, because they kind of seemed okay in my parents' eyes. They were stories and puzzles you'd interact with.
I'll pretend I didn't notice it.
Instead of blowing off someone's head, I'd be using my head. I played a lot of these games when I was growing up, but none of them have stuck with me quite like the 1998 adventure game Grim Fandango from LucasArts. Grim Fandango is this sort of Art Deco film noir adventure game set in the land of the dead. It follows Manny Calavera, a travel agent in the land of the dead, selling travel packages to recently departed souls. The story of Grim Fandango takes place over 4 years as Manny Calavera discovers a conspiracy between his employers, the Department of Death, and the gangster Hector LeMans. In the land of the dead, souls can travel to the Ninth Underworld via many means. However, the premium choice, if you've been a good soul, is the number 9 express train, which cuts through all of the dangers of the land of the dead, taking you to the Ninth Underworld in 10 minutes instead of 10 years. He uncovers that tickets for this train have been stolen from good souls and sold off onto the rich 1%ers in the land of the dead, and he works his way trying to reclaim these tickets to the souls who truly deserve them. There's a lot of themes of corruption, politics, racketeering, trafficking. This was a lot to expose a 9-year-old to. It had already seeded some doubt and curiosity about the world I hadn't even encountered yet at that age. I remember being fascinated by the idea of big business doing shady things behind closed doors. It may sound naive, but I was only 9 at the time. There's a sort of hyper fantasy in the game. It's incredibly stylized. The Land of the Dead is this sort of spectacular place full of magic realism. It's all filled with Art Deco and noir, but Manny Calavera is stuck in a dead-end office job selling insurance packages to people. There was something really captivating about his drab office setting and knowing that there's this whole vast world of fantasy behind him. There's this paranoia in the game where Manny knows that this company are up to no good. He knows his boss is screwing him some way. He hasn't quite realised how, but his suspicions are there. Everywhere in the land of the dead, there's something shady going on behind closed doors. Grim Fandango tells a story with sort of humour, wit, and if I could be so pretentious, I'd say sophistication. It's a story to me where I think all the elements are perfect. The visual style of it, the acting, the storytelling, all the elements just come together, and it's clearly a project of mass creativity and passion. And the setting is just breathtaking, the sort of Art Deco meets Mexican folklore fantasy. The game uses fixed camera shots as you navigate the world, and some of these shots are so cinematic and stylized, they're breathtaking, even to the point of them being a bit impractical. Manny Calavera is often this very small character amongst this huge backdrop of things. And what I love about Grim Fandango, why it stayed with me for so long, is the completeness to the story. Once the story ends, it's a firm end. There's no room for anything else there. It leaves you wanting more of the world, but also any more would kind of spoil it. It's one you crave more of, but you also know you don't really need any more. I remember when the film Avatar came out, there were all these stories of Avatar-induced depression because everyone wanted to be in the Avatar world. To me, that was never very impressive, but I have always wanted to live in the Grim Fandango world. Maybe I have Grim Fandango-induced depression. I am aware it's kind of silly that a computer game from 20 years ago could be so formative for me, but I'd also be lying if I didn't say it shaped the way I looked at the world. It formed all of my tastes. Playing this game as a young child really, cemented a lot of things for me.
Oh, ick. Don't let me down, Nick.
I mean, when I was little, I'd draw scenes from the game, and when I got a camera, I'd set up shots in the same way. I wanted to recreate some of this world for me in real life. It was a world I was always looking for, never quite found, but I also never stopped trying either. Stylistically and thematically, for me, it's in a league of its own, and I like to think a lot about where my tastes have come from. Why do I like the things I like? Why are some things to me so fascinating and to others they're not? I mean, how does a personality get formed? It's not our environment, it's the things we consume, especially at younger ages. Grim Fandango's given me a love for film noir, for Humphrey Bogart, for Art Deco. It's also got me obsessed with stories of conspiracy and racketeering. And there are, to my eyes, quite a few political themes in the game. I mean, Grim Fandango has a very clear class structure in it. I mean, you've got Manny Calavera, who's the representative of the sort of lower middle class salary man. You've got his bosses and the gangsters who are the 1% who are stealing off the worthy and just giving to the people rich enough. In the world of Grim Fandango, class is as important as anything. And a lot of this is representative of the real world. There's the clear surface level morality that the Department of Death presents itself. If you are a worthy soul, you will have an easy life. You've earned the right to go to rest.
Buenos dias.
But the reality of it is those opportunities are being snatched away from the people that deserve them and are being sold on for profit. You can't lay to rest in the land of the dead unless you can afford it.
Punishment for selling double-end tickets is very severe.
But they didn't sell their tickets were stolen.
By who?
Hector Le Mans stole them to sell to rich people who don't deserve them.
And throughout Grim Fandango, and in a lot of Tim Schafer's other work as well, there's themes of big business only serving their own interests, there's corporate corruption, politics at play. It's all throughout the game. And as I say, I played this as quite a young child. This was a lot to take in. There's also this other weird feeling in the world of the Land of the Dead that never gets directly said, but it's definitely there. In the Land of the Dead, there are demons, and it's explicitly stated that the demons live in the Land of the Dead. They don't get to go to rest, they belong in this land. Yet they are the clear underclass of it. It's never directly expressed, but it feels like this is their land, and the recently deceased, the skeletons in the game, they've moved in and they are only using it to travel for their own self-interests. And they've pushed the demons, the people who live there, who belong there, right to the very bottom of the class structure. None of these things are directly expressed, but you can pick up on them. The world is so real and it has feeling. You can't not be aware of these things when experiencing it. And it made me start to think of something a bit bigger. There's all this online discourse at the moment about political content for children and children consuming adult themes. It's very clear that Grim Fandango isn't a game designed for children. It's very mature in its themes. However, it is accessible for all ages. But there's this constant idea going around that exposing children to political ideas is dangerous and possibly even unfair. And I can only speak for myself, but this certainly had a great impact on me and a profound effect. I think it made me more aware of the world. It made me curious to look at the world in other ways. I imagine everyone has a similar thing that's come their way as a child that has really shaped how they look at everything. When I was writing this, I asked my girlfriend to look over my notes, see what she thought about it. And she asked me one question that really kind of floored me a bit, that it hadn't even occurred to me before. She asked me, did this game ever make you think about death? And I felt very silly, because no, it hadn't occurred to me once.
Huh?
It's the most obvious thing about the game. You are playing a dead person amongst dead people. Everyone in the land is dead and they're seeking to have their souls go to rest. Yet the themes of death escaped me as a child. And it's not like I was unaware of death either. As a child, I was terrified of it. I remember the realization very clearly when I realized that everyone's gonna die. I'm gonna die. Everyone I know will. But playing Grim Fandango, I never picked up on that. And that's really strange to me. I think with fear of going into the cliche, of so much of Grim Fandango is clearly about life as we live it in the land of the living, that it sort of escaped me that all of these people have died. One of the themes that seems to have stuck with me for so long is this kind of lottery of birth. When souls transition from the land of the living to the land of the dead, they're entering the same lottery we will enter when we're born. You don't know where you'll end up on the other side, and it really is only a matter of luck to see if you'll benefit from it.
Nice bathrobe.
One of the things that has stuck with me for so long is the idea of sort of the lottery of life. They believe they've lived moral lives and therefore will have an easier time passing through, but it's the same structure as the land of living. If you've got money, you will get the easy life. If you don't and you've lived a moral life, you'll just probably have that opportunity taken away from you.
What's the matter, Chuck? Can't afford to hire goons to do this sort of work for you?
I'm all the goon I need. Now drop it.
You can be as moral as you want, but if you aren't the right person, you won't get your ticket on that train. Instead, like the rest of us, you're stuck in the grind of actual real life, stuck to serve a corporation or someone else until your debt is paid off and maybe they let you go. Maybe that's its own type of death. Thank you for listening to me waffle on about this game that has meant so much to me. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like or a comment. If you'd like to subscribe, please do. It really encourages me to make more. And I will see you at the next one. Take care.